Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 91 of the Crickpicks podcast. I'm Behram, who you can find at Def Mango on Twitter. And with me is Shayan Ahmed Khan, my colleague from Good Areas, who you can find at Tweets by Shayan on Twitter. And then I've also got my other colleague, Saurabh Somani, who you can find at Saurabh_42 on Twitter. And we are here to record a Crickpicks episode. If you are new to Crickpicks, what we do on this show is that we take any random cricket topic, or category, and we draft our top 5 each for that category in a snake style draft competition. So the pick order goes 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. And before I tell you what we're going to do today, I just want you all to know that all of our shows on the Good Areas Network are powered by our supporters on Patreon. And you can become one of them by going to Patreon/Good Areas Podcast. And then you can enjoy ad-free content. You can talk to us exclusively. And you can give us Quick Picks recommendations as well. All right. So sometimes what we do on Crickpicks is that we combine to assemble teams of 12. And that's what we'll be doing today. We are creating a test team of the 1990s. And quite excited for this one. I also have first pick, but how do you guys feel about this particular one? Whose idea was it? Was it yours, Shayan?
Yeah, funnily it was my idea because I was watching the 80s one, so I was like, okay, we should do this like as a full series. Maybe we can do 90s because we have two 90s kids and a Gen Z. So it will be interesting, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think Saurabh is on the other end of the millennial spectrum. And but we are the same generation essentially. Anyway, it's a very easy first pick. Maybe you guys will disagree, but I feel like he has to be first pick. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Shane Keith Vaughan. He will be a leg spinner or wrist spinner in this team.
Yeah.
And Warney has 708 wickets in 145 test matches at an average of 25.41 with the ball. But more importantly, in the 90s, right, Shane Warne had 351 wickets in 80 test matches. And he also had a similar average, like 25 and a half. So that's a lot of wickets. No other bowler took more wickets than Shane Warne in test cricket in the 90s. And I mean, he would make like test teams of all time. So surely the era that he played in, he gets to feature in that team.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Wasn't he one of the Wisden cricketers as well? Like, I think
the
him and Sachin
millennium.
were both. Yeah.
Yeah, I
both
mean,
him and
yeah.
Sachin made it, I think.
I can't remember what the year was, but I want to say 94 when he bowls that ball to Gatting. Maybe.
No,
it was
I
94.
meant Wisden cricketer as in like of the millennium, not just
okay,
of a particular year.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
Saurabh was saying.
Yeah, probably. But
I
like,
think he was in that.
so he had an interesting career in the sense that he starts off and India smashes him, then he comes back and then
Yeah.
he lights the world on fire. I have never seen a wrist spinner other than Warren who had so many tricks up his sleeve. That man had an artillery which is enviable. And he was just such a smart cricketer. He was a proper athlete as well, even though his physique might not suggest that. But it's just that the brains on Shane Warne and the way he would work batters over and sometimes even get under their skin. I feel like for me, he was just theatre as well. Like I would always tune in. Loved watching Warney bowl.
Not just batters. I think he would work umpires over also. With his whole. I mean, it was exactly as you said, theatre. Watching Shane Warne was this is the guy starring in his own theatre. And you have all come to watch the Shane Warne show.
Yeah.
And he was actually my only pick for spinner in the Test 90s team. There's no one else close. So yeah, that's a pretty uncontested pick.
Yeah, I
So
mean, look,
shall
I
I
was
go-
looking at
Yeah.
I was looking at all the roles, and I was like, Warney has to be like a shoo-in, so he gets in.
Yeah.
Also, can one of you do me a favor and list down our picks like in an Excel or
Yeah.
something?
I'll do that.
completely
I'll do that.
forgot to let you know. But yes, Saurabh, you do have the next pick, and let's see
Yeah.
where you go.
Yeah, so I go with the other straightforward one, and the guy who Shane Warne will be glad is on the same team, Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah,
Of
course.
The one guy who could, even in the 90s, take on Shane Warne successfully. I mean, he did it slightly more in the ODIs, but I watched a lot of that 1998 series when Australia came to India. So that shows how old I am. I watched the whole the whole thing, bunking school and stuff. Tendulkar was just magical, but there was also, I think he averaged 58 in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
And the 90s, of course, we are in a very bowling friendly era now. But before this, if you have to go back to a bowling friendly era, it's the 90s, I think. There was a lot of great bowlers on several teams. And in fact, I think the bowling era now can be considered slightly tougher, but that's probably because the third and fourth bowlers of this current generation are better than the third and fourth bowlers that were there in the 90s. But if you just take the first two bowlers, the 90s might clear this era, like you have like a Wasim Wakar, Donald Pollock, Ambrose Walsh, even at Glenn McGrath, McDermott, whatever changeover was there, and Vaughan. All the teams had great. Their two best bowlers were really great. So it was, and Tendulkar was, I think, the best Test batsman of the 90s in that bowling friendly era. So he was also, I think, a straightforward pick. Although there are other batters who have also done well, he doesn't outpace the batters by as much as Vaughan outpaces the spinners, but he's still a straightforward pick. So yeah.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, overall record, of course, no one has played more test matches than Sachin Tendulkar's 200. No one has scored more runs than Sachin Tendulkar's 15,921. But his average overall was, 53.78, and it kind of dropped down in the last 25 test matches that he played. In the 90s, Saurabh, as you mentioned, bowling heavy era where it's tough to score runs, Sachin is averaging 58 with the bat in 69 test matches, right? That is flat out insane. And so I do feel that he is the correct pick or with respect to the first batting pick in this team. So yeah, job well done. All right, then, Shayan.
Shayan has two.
Two in a row.
Right, so I have two picks. I'll go with Brian Lara first, and he'll bat at number 3 in our team. Simply because, like, of course, it's that era of Sachin Tendulkar versus Brian Lara, right? Like, two of the greatest batters of all time, like in the post-Bradman era, going up against each other. I think that was also, like, a very interesting thing that people kept track of. And Lara was another one who could play Murli and Vaughan both really well, right? And he was a player, like, obviously he was a great player overall, but I feel Lara was also a player of great knocks. Like, it's very rare that you see someone being able to pull off the sort of madness that he would at that level of consistency, right? And I think, of course, like, he had that 100 chasing in Australia. He has had, like, knocks against Australia at home chasing. So I feel like Australia in particular was, like, a bit of a special thing for him. Although his average in Australia overall wasn't as high, I believe. Like, it was 41, 42. But more than that, just the numbers, some of the knocks that he played, those were just, like, magical stuff, I think.
I mean, one of his knocks in Australia was so magical that he named his daughter Sydney because he made 277 there.
Yeah. And I mean, he scores his original 75 in the 90s as well, even though the 400 comes in the 2000s. What I found fascinating is that Lara plays 131 test matches and averages 52.88. In the 90s, he doesn't do as well. I know it's just a run, but he's averaging 51.6 in 65 test matches. But then again, the man was magic. You really correctly pointed out that great player of spin and a player of great knocks, and just also so eye-catching, right? That little, I don't know, backlift that he has before he plays a shot, proper Caribbean flair. And I mean, he's everyone's favorite batter of the 90s. Sachin might be better as far as the numbers are concerned, but Lara is the fan favorite. That's basically how I'd describe them.
I don't know if Saurabh will agree.
See, I mean, with the benefit of distance, I can say that Lara probably played more iconic knocks in the 90s than Sachin did. Not that Sachin didn't play iconic knocks, but Lara's were just... And it's amazing. Like, Lara's greatest fourth innings knock is probably that 153 not out for a 1-wicket win against Australia, right?
Exactly.
In 99.
That was the one I was saying.
And a few months earlier, Sachin Tendulkar made 136 against Pakistan in the fourth innings in 99. It was separated by 3-4 months. And India lost by 16 runs. And the difference between 136 and 153 is 17 runs. If Tendulkar had scored that 17 runs, India wins, and Tendulkar has his own 153 to compare with Lara's. And you know, so it's just... I mean, that's how I would put it. I think Lara played more iconic knocks, and just before that 153 was that 213 in the second test. And both of these came after West Indies were bowled out for 51 in the first test, which is why actually Steve Waugh stuck them into bat. He thought there are enough mental scars from 51 all out that will roll them over again. And then Lara hits 213, which is many people hail as the greatest test innings of his career. And then one test later, he plays an even greater one. And in the fourth test, he also hits 100 of 80 odd balls, which West Indies end up losing, which is also the test where Steve Waugh dropped Shane Warne from the 11.
Yeah.
So actually in our first three picks, the first one is the only one who has been dropped for a test in the 90s.
True.
The other two
I
were
mean,
never dropped.
Saurabh has gone full 90s kid, as 90s kid as he could have gone over here, and I love that. And I mean, look, the burning debate in the 90s was Lara or Sachin. And we've got both of them in our team already alongside Shane Warne. So let's see if we can continue this hot streak. Shayan still has another pick. Where does he go?
Yeah.
But before that, I would just like to add that one story about Lara versus Sachin that I always like whenever I talk about it, I always bring it up. It's just the fact that Brett Lee says that Sachin could hit 6 fours in one direction in the same over of the same, in the same. He could play the same shot 6 times in an over, basically, right? But Lara could play 6 different shots in that same over. I think that difference really sort of sums up the brilliance of both of those batters. Yeah. And now for my next pick, I think I have a lot of options, but I'm trying to think if I should go for a bowler or a batter.
You could also go for a keeper.
The world is your oyster.
Even a keeper.
Yeah.
The keeper, for me at least, was a very straightforward pick, actually. There's one keeper who's clearing everyone else.
I had two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, do what you want to do,
Okay,
Shayan. Don't get influenced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just go with a bowler, man. I'll go with Wasim Akram.
Okay,
I
safe pick.
I knew if you had asked me to guess who will be Shayan's second pick, I would have said Wasim Akram. I knew because I was thinking that I want to pick Wasim, but Shayan has a pick ahead of me.
So
magic pick.
I wanted to go Waz first pick as well because I love Waz, but then I was like, the right one is Shane Warne, at least in my head, so I have to go with the right pick.
There is another right one, by the way, who someone should pick. Another bowler who probably has better numbers than Wasim, but I think for me, it's a bit of a biased thing in the sense that, watching Wasim Akram bowl even in these highlights, I've been watching a lot of his highlights recently, by the way, so I think that plays a part, but watching his highlights, I feel like you just have to appreciate the brilliance that he has. And because he can give you a new ball bowling option as well. And we all have this left arm seam bias, which Varun doesn't really get why, but we all have that left arm seam bias, I'm sure. And he could bat a bit as well, right? I think especially in ODIs, I mean, we'll talk about that later, but he could really smack the ball. And he even has that 100 at Adelaide, 123. Yeah. So he can bat a bit. Of course, that's not why we are picking him, but he'll be a handy number 8.
I mean, I think a bit is slightly an understatement. Saurabh will disagree because he loves Wasim Akram, the all-rounder, right? We've all known this through other Crickpicks episodes. But look, he averaged overall 22.64 with the bat, and his top score of 257 not out came in the 90s versus Zimbabwe. And look, even though there are bowlers with better numbers than Wasim, overall he's 414 wickets in 104 test matches at 23.62. Yeah. But in the 90s, his numbers are better, right? Which is really, really fascinating. Yeah. He took 289 wickets in 62 test matches at an average of 21.45. So that's 2 runs better than Wasim Akram overall, which clearly tells you that Wasim or Waz in the 90s was premium Waz, right? And it's weird.
Yeah, and he loved playing
he'd gotten
in
older
New Zealand, right?
Yes, he did love playing in New Zealand.
New Zealand was one of his favorite places, I feel. And apart from that, obviously, even in Pakistan, he averaged less than 19 with the ball from 26 matches. Then if we see his record is good in India, good in Australia, good in England, averaging in that 23 to 25 range. Yeah. Even in Zimbabwe, he was good, averaging around 26. I think only in South Africa and the West Indies, he has a slightly higher average. It's well above 39, so it's close to 40 in both cases. But I think that is fine. Any great player, if we really nitpick, has some sort of flaws. And wherever he's played a significant amount of cricket, I think his numbers more than hold up pretty well. And because of the fact that this is a bowler who you can use in Sena conditions as well as in Asian conditions, right? So I think that ticks off a major box, I feel.
Absolutely.
I mean, I cannot disagree with Wasim the batter, obviously. I can agree now that it probably was a bit of a stretch to pick him in an all-rounders team. I just let my Wasim bias go through there. But yeah, as a bowler in the 90s, you can't argue against Wasim Akram.
Absolutely. And I mean, look, he probably doesn't make the 80s team. We've done the 80s team, actually. I feel like Jared and I have.
That
have
is why this
assembled
podcast
it.
is happening, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
So
I watched that and I was like,
I don't think he made that team, right? And so this is the era where he definitely has to be one of the first few picks. And he has been the first few picks, or he's number 4, which I think is apt. But anyway, Shayan is done with his 2 picks in a row, and we're back to Saurabh. But before Saurabh goes ahead and picks his second player, we will be taking a short break. You guys are watching Crickpicks with Behram, Shayan, and Saurabh, and we'll be back in like half a minute, so go nowhere.
This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. If you want to be part of the community that makes content like this, head over now. My latest book is The Art of Batting. It delves deep into how the best players ever made their runs. Get your copy today.
Welcome back to Crickpicks. You guys are with Shayan, Saurabh, and Behram, and we are currently in the process of assembling a test team of the 90s. We've already got Warnie, Sachin, Lara, and Wasim, and now we're back to Saurabh, and I'm keen to see what direction he goes in.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick Curtly Ambrose.
Nice one.
I-
You picked my guy. I wanted to pick Curtly next.
So we are doing this relay thing. Shayan picked my guy, so I picked yours. So you picked Shayan's. So Ambrose. Ambrose is also a personal favorite. I mean, as a kid in the 90s, Ambrose was genuinely an awe-inspiring sight. There was just something about the guy, 6'8" or whatever he was, coming in with his white wristbands and that like bowling action like that, and just hitting that length again and again and again, getting steep bounce, not just staring at the batsman, not really uttering too many words. And then he had that whole 7 for 1 spell at the Waka, where he was just a properly terrifying sight as an opposition fan, and he was the kind of sight where at least still rooted for him to do well, because there was something magnetic about him. And whenever we form these all-time teams, Ambrose always loses out to McGrath. I think it's sort of marginal, and that's why he does. But in the 90s is one place where Ambrose clears McGrath, so I really wanted to pick him in this team, which is why I'm very happy to have got Ambrose in.
No. I even thought at times that maybe he goes ahead of Wasim, but then there's the left arm quick thing, and he can bat as well.
Yeah.
But Curtly Ambrose has 405 wickets in 98 tests, and he's taken his wickets at just under 21 apiece. But in the 90s, he's taken like more than 75% of those wickets, so 309 in 71 matches, and his bowling average is 20.14. And you get express pace. You could potentially, use him as a first change bowler, although I'd give him the new ball, but he could play that role as well. And he's intimidating. He's not a sledger either. It's just in the eyes and in the body language. And Dean Jones will tell you a thing or two that you never get him to take his wristband off, for instance. That's a big mistake. And I mean, look, I haven't really caught his career live, but I've seen a lot of highlights, and I know that had I been old enough in the 90s, he would have been one of my personal favorites easily. And he does clear McGrath in this team.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
As you
there's
said,
this
like,
amazing story about Ambrose. So there was an English reporter who wanted to interview Ambrose, but he was famously reticent. So he approached Viv Richards and told Viv, listen, I want to talk to Curtly. So can you tell him? So obviously Viv went to the dressing room, told Curtly there's this guy who wants to interview you and all that. So Curtly comes out, big giant of a man. And he says, you want to talk to Curtly? So the reporter says, yes, I would like an interview, sir. He's like, you want to talk to Curtly? You ask Curtly. You want to talk to Viv? You ask Viv. So he says, okay, fair enough. So can I talk to you, Curtly? No, Curtly talks to no man. And he goes back inside.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, now it's back to me for 2 back-to-back picks, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Man, there are 2 bowlers over here, and I really don't know which one to go for. They're both fast bowlers. They both have very similar records in the 90s.
Yes, I think I know who you're talking about. Which 2?
Yeah. I mean, they're both rapid. It's a
You could
confusing
pick
one.
both. You could pick both. We are picking 12.
Yes, but then you want 4 fast bowlers. Maybe one could go
We
12th
want spin
actually.
options as well, I think.
Yeah.
Like, what if we're playing in Asia? We need more spinners for that as well, I think.
Okay, let me think. You know what? I'm going to go for a hipster pick. I don't care. I will think about the bowler later. And my hipster pick is going to be for an opening batter. All right.
I know who.
And I just have to do this because I know that you
Yeah.
guys might not pick him. So I'm going to pick
I think I will.
Oh, you will?
He was in my team.
Damn.
Team. Saeed
Okay,
Anwar was
well,
definitely
Yeah.
in my team.
Yeah, same.
I should have just deferred that pick then. Well, anyway, Saeed Anwar only played in the 90s, or maybe he played a few test matches in the 2000s as well. But primarily he played in the 90s. Didn't play enough, just 44 test matches. But in the 90s, he's averaging 46.1 with the bat as an opener, which is flat out ridiculous to me. And the thing about Saeed is, not only is he an aesthetically pleasing left-handed opener, he was also brilliant away from home. I feel like that's what really stands out in his record, right? His overall average, drops to 45.52 in 55 test matches, so he was better in the 90s. And if I just go to his breakdown, right, with respect to his away hundreds, you are looking at hundreds in Australia, England, India, New Zealand, South Africa, and then 2 in Sri Lanka. He has more away hundreds than he has hundreds at home. He was basically KL Rahul before KL Rahul, but a better version of him and a left-handed version of him, right? I mean, Saeed Anwar was just in Pakistan. You'll find him to be a fan favorite for a lot of people. Like Saad Nasir at Pro Sports, he's his favorite batter of all time as well.
Yeah.
So I picked him because I thought you guys might not, but clearly you would have. So maybe I should have done something else.
Yeah.
You missed out on a hipster pick because you went too early for this one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to completely sabotage my entire, like, no one's voting for me with these picks that I'm going for. That much is settled. But I feel like you guys might pick the bowlers, at least one of them will go. And then I can think for 12th man whether or not I want to pick the last one. I feel like I need to take myself to that position, right? So I will just give us our wicket keeper. And I will pick Alex Stewart. He kept a lot in the 90s. And yeah, I mean, his batting record in the 90s checks out. He scored the most runs, in fact, in the 90s. 6,407 runs in 93 tests. He's averaging 40.8 with the bat. And those are slightly better numbers than his career numbers, because I reckon he's averaging just under 40. Yeah, 39.54 in 133 test matches. But Alex Stewart wasn't England's first choice keeper, and he became their keeper. And I feel like in the 90s, he would have kept in the bulk of the tests that England played. And yeah, you can perhaps have him at 5 or something. The other keeper as well was quite good. You know, he is a better cricketer than Alex Stewart. But this is a 90s team.
Yeah.
So I felt like, volume of runs does count for something. I don't know.
So Alex Stewart
I think
was
it's
not in my shortlisted 12. He was in my long list. I had 2 keepers ahead of him.
Okay. One of them
yeah.
is the obvious keeper.
Yes.
Yeah. That's who I was thinking you'll pick, honestly. But you
Who
really
could also
didn't.
bat at 5, but
Exactly.
you've
Or
gone
6.
Alex Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many runs did Flowers score in the 90s? I'm just curious.
So,
See, the thing is, he also didn't get to play as much as Stewart did, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, right?
So he played only 39 tests. He scored 2,580 runs at an average of 44.5.
Yeah.
Alex Stewart played more than double the tests. He played 93 tests in the 90s. And he averaged 40.8. So it's I mean, Alex Stewart is not a bad pick, I think. But so the other one that I had ahead of him was actually Ian Healy.
Oh.
I think Ian Healy.
I didn't have Healy. I was confused between Flower and Stewart, and I was like, okay, do I go for sample size or do I go for the better cricketer? And I was like, every other day Flower is going to get picked anyway. So give Stewart the 90s team pick.
No, Ian Healy as a pure keeper, I think easily shades the other two. Plus, he was a decent bat. He was not a mug. Obviously, when an Adam Gilchrist comes in, you're going to pick an Adam Gilchrist. I mean, Adam Gilchrist's batting was so far ahead of anyone else that you're going to pick him. And it was not as if he was a bad keeper. But just as a pure keeper, I think Healy shades a lot of them, and he was a nuggety sort of batter. He could, keep one end hold one end down. So he was my other. That would have been a slightly hipster pick. But my first choice would have been Andy Flower, but no quarrels with Alex Stewart. And plus, you know the famous trivia about Alex Stewart, right?
What is it?
He's born on 8th April 1963, which is 8463, and that's the exact number of test runs he has.
Oh,
8463.
yes. I did know
yes.
this. Yeah. I have been made aware.
I also
Also,
heard
a
Yeah.
proper
Yeah.
Surrey legend. I don't know if you guys have been to
Yeah.
the Oval, but Mickey Stewart
Yeah, I
and
have.
Alex Stewart are all over the Oval, like everywhere you see. Anyway, now it's back to you, Saurabh. And
Okay, it's
yeah.
back to me. So now we require an opener, a number 5 possibly,
Yeah.
and bowlers.
Why don't we open with Alex Stewart though?
No,
He's
I don't
played
think
most of his innings. But he's played most of his innings there. Like that has to count for something, no?
We could
we could, but
open with him if we need to.
I'm never comfortable with opening with a wicketkeeper.
Yeah,
in Test
I agree
cricket.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
that's the thing.
But I'm just going by where he has batted the most in the 90s. And if you see that, he's played 73 innings at 2, I mean opening the innings, and 34 innings at 3. 5 he has played 18 innings, 4 he's played 21 innings, 6 he's played 17 innings.
Interesting.
He can bat 4 to 6, but
No, so
he's-
but I'll
and-
just go for a safer pick. I'll go Steve
Okay.
Waugh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, fair.
That is a safer
See,
pick.
that he
I
had to
think-
make it. He had to
Yeah,
make it.
he was the third batter on the list who had to make it. I mean, after Sachin
Exactly.
and Lara. Actually, in the 90s, the debate, I mean, it became Sachin and Lara, but briefly it was Sachin versus Lara versus Steve Waugh. So, so I have picked both Ambrose and Steve Waugh in my picks, so that'll be a nice little confrontation possibility there. Because they had that famous face-off in the Jamaica, right? I think it was Jamaica, where Waugh made 200, Mark Waugh made 100, and in the middle of that, Ambrose bounced him and stared at him. And then Steve Waugh was like, what are you fucking staring at? And Ambrose was like, don't cuss me, man. And Ambrose took a step towards him. And then Steve Waugh writes in his autobiography, he felt he was like an inch away from strangulation, death by strangulation in the middle of the cricket pitch. But Richie Richardson came and like separated Ambrose because Ambrose was coming. And like, imagine the 6'8" guy coming towards you like that. So
Yeah. I mean,
but-
look, he was kind of in your face, Steve Waugh, and he was
Yeah.
very, very gritty as a batter. Originally, he was an all-rounder, but then kind of developed into
Yeah.
an out-and-out number 5. Averages 51.06 across 168 test matches. For the longest time, he had played the most number of test matches ever, and then Sachin overtakes him. But in the 90s, Steve Waugh is averaging 53.1 with the bat in 89 test matches. So if he ever makes any era's team, it has to be the 90s test team. And so Tugger is a solid pick. All right, then.
Yeah.
So we're back to Shayan. He has his last 2 picks. And let's see how he ends this.
Okay.
Yeah. So this will determine which way our team will go now. Shayan, you have the
Yeah.
power.
Well, Shayan, we could bat Alex Stewart lower because, I mean, if he was batting up top and averaging so high, then he's obviously going to average more if he bats lower down the order. If you want, you can go for an opening batter, or you can go for like a number 6 sort of player.
Or you can just go rogue, Shayan. Don't get influenced.
Or pick one of those fast bowlers, right? Like one of them has to go.
I'll pick
I'm
Jack
sure he'll
Russell,
pick
dude.
one of them. He's got 2, so he's going to pick one of them at least, I'm sure.
Yes, has to.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I'll pick Jack Russell. No, I'm just kidding. I actually thought of him, by the way, like talking about specialist keepers. He did come to my mind, like because he's supposed to be
But-
like this very great keeper, right?
He was a great keeper. He was a great painter also. But would you pick him ahead of Ian Healy? If you are picking.
I don't know.
a
I've not seen them
specialist
keep, right? Like in my life, I have not seen them play.
For me,
But just going by
I can only go by highlights.
lore and legend and everything, Ian Healy was quite.
I mean, yes, he's known for his glovesmanship, but so is Jack Russell, right? Like literally.
Yeah.
Anyway, this
Exactly.
is a weird tangent, guys. The keeper is done. I went for
Yeah.
Stewart for Stewart over Flower, and I've already gotten sworn at
fair.
in the comment section enough. So let's move on with this team. Come on, Chayan. Stop buying yourself time.
I think we need. I think we need an all-rounder of sorts as well. Like not. It's just that someone who can bat at 7 and also bowl.
Yeah.
So I'll go with one of my picks, and that will be Sean Pollock.
Ah.
And he can bat at number 7 and be our bowler.
He was in my team.
If we go and look at his record in the 90s, he does have a pretty solid record with the ball. He takes 161 wickets in 38 games at 20.45, by the way.
Damn.
So more than 4 wickets a game, and he's taking them at 20 apiece roughly, right? So that's terrific stuff right there from him. And if we go and look at his batting numbers, he's still, I think he's the sort of player who can
was
fit in
averaging
pretty well at
33.
number 7.
33 in the
Oh,
90s.
was he?
I'm trying to see how many innings he batted there.
Interesting. So if he's
That's what I'm
averaging
looking at
30,
now.
33 with the bat in the 90s, that is slightly higher than his career average of 32 point something. And his bowling average in his career was 23 point something. So 90s was really his era.
And he was properly rapid when he came in the 90s. He debuted
Exactly.
in 94,
Young Pollock was
95 or
rapid.
something. He had like a mean bouncer. He was fast. He and Donald formed like a really great combo up top. So yeah, Sean Pollock.
Orange hair Sean Pollock or
Orange
red
hair,
hair
yes,
Sean
yes.
Pollock. That was a different beast altogether. I always mention this. Anyway, good pick. That gives us good balance.
Sorry, I'm just saying, he actually averages 31.9 in the 90s.
31.9.
He makes
sorry.
1404 runs. But the good part is, he's played most of his innings at number 7, 36 innings, and he averages 34.55 at number 7. So I think he'll slot in pretty well there. I know that the issue that I had while making these teams was we have too many new ball options. But I mean, in a team like this, we are going to have that, right? I am sure with the quality of players that we're talking about, they should be like good enough to be used in other situations as well. I mean, because I didn't really find specialist first change bowlers per se. So in that regard, that is why, okay, so I've picked the one all-rounder, right? I need to pick another bowler, I think. Or I can go for an opener.
Yeah.
I can go for an opener and just make it easy for myself. So we'll leave the bonus to you guys.
Up to you.
Actually, I will go with I will go with the opener. I'll go with Graham Gooch for the 90s. And although he doesn't play for most of the 90s, I think he plays for half of the 90s. It's just the fact that is when he is at his peak.
Yep.
And we all know that he's one of the greatest batters of all time after the age of 35. And so I think in England he's rated much higher, obviously. But overall, we didn't have him in our top 50, but a lot of people were asking about whether he should make it, whether he should not. And by the way, the same for Anwar. I feel Anwar was very close for us when it came to making the top 50, but he just missed out, sort of. Yeah. And Graham Gooch also, I think what really stands out about him is that he was really good against the West Indies, right? So I think once we factor all of those things in, for me, Graham Gooch has to be the opener with Anwar up top.
Yeah, I mean, look, Graham Gooch played 118 test matches in his career and he averages 42.58 with the bat. But if you look at the 90s, as Jared always likes to mention, Gooch, Misbah and a few other batters, Hussey, who really peak extremely late in their careers. That's Graham Gooch for you. He plays, 45 test matches in the 90s, so he plays for half of that decade. But he scores 4,176 runs in those 45 test matches. So what would have his career looked like without the 90s is a better question, I suppose.
He averaged like 35, 36, I would have imagined.
I mean, if he's averaging 51.55 as an opener in 45 test matches in the 90s, then it has to be quite low before that. But I feel like you've gone for the correct pick over here. Hipster pick would have been Slater, right?
Yeah.
Or Atherton.
Yeah, no, I feel like Slater in the 90s was actually quite good, but then again, I don't think he had any room in this team. All right, then. We've got 2 bowling slots left. Everything else has been occupied. And we're back to Saurabh. Okay.
So, obviously, now I have to make the choice between one of the fast bowlers.
Yeah.
Which is really tough because they both have their opening bowling partners in this team. Right? We have both Sean Pollock and Wasim Akram here. So now, whose partner do I pick? It's really tough. Maybe if we were doing this tomorrow, I'd pick a different one. But for now, I'm going to pick Waqar Yunis.
Fascinating. I mean, look, the thing is that Alan Donald did get surfaces that helped him more than Waqar did. And then Waqar's peak in the early 90s is an all-timer peak, right? Like it is a Bumrah-esque peak. So you can't ignore that part.
Which is why I went for him. He's the most closely associated to Jasprit Bumrah in peak-wise. So that is what tipped him over the scales for me instead of Alan Donald.
It's crazy we're still talking about Bumrah in a 90s podcast. Like, we can expect that with Saurabh though. But
Sure.
I'm here
I
for
mean,
it. I have no issues.
I took that mantle of president of Bumrah FC from him anyway. So I don't know
No,
if
that
if
is that is still up for debate. But
Also, look at how comparable these records are, man. Waqar Younis in
Yeah.
56 test matches in the 90s took 273 wickets at a bowling average of 21.71. Alan Donald in 59 test matches in the 90s took 284 wickets at a bowling average of 21.83. I mean, there's really not much that's separating them, but what does separate them is the peak. And Waqar's numbers probably fall off a lot, right? Because he was
Yeah.
averaging in the teens, and then he ends up averaging 21.7 something in the 90s. So yeah, it was a tough one, man.
the other reason I went for Waqar is basically the strike rate. His strike rate is 40.9 in the 90s. Donald's is 45.7. It's sort of insane to think that a strike rate of 45.7 is inferior to anything, but it is because of the peak Waqar had. So that's like, it's not, you can argue either way. Donald had greater
Saurabh.
consistency, you could argue. So
I have a few stats that might make you change your mind again, but like we can't do anything about it now. So
We can't do
I was
that.
just going through the match factor stats, right, from Varun Streamlit.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's some interesting numbers here. So Alan Donald had a match factor of 1.37 and Waqar Younis had a match factor of 1.29. Interestingly, I was thinking it would be the other way around, but it wasn't.
So-
And when we look at the strike factor, it's
So-
1.48 and 1.43.
Oh, damn.
Who is 1.48?
Donald.
Whoa, wow. Okay.
That's
So
what I'm saying.
maybe we made a mistake.
Anyway,
No,
I feel like
Not a very big mistake. Not a very big mistake.
No, I
but,
get it.
thing
yeah.
is, you're probably picking early 90s Waqar, and you can do that on Crickpicks, right? Because if you're picking
Yeah.
a guy for a certain era, you pick the best version. And Waqar's best version was better than Donald's best version in the 90s, even though still it's eerily similar, those two bowlers.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
look, Donald ends up with a bowling average in his career of 22.25. So he's slightly worse than he was in the 90s. For Waqar, it's a bigger jump. He ends up with a bowling average of 23.56. So it's the 90s that save his career.
Yeah. No, so essentially, I'm going to bring Bumrah back into the discussion. But essentially, it is if in the 2030s we are picking a 2020s team, and let's say Bumrah has a bit of a fall off, and Pat Cummins maintains his level, Now we have seen the Bumrah peak of the first half of 2020s, so that is going to factor in while picking the team, right? If it comes down to between those two, it is going to factor in somewhere, which is why I went Waqar slightly. I mean, it is all very
No, I think it's fair.
thin margin reasons. It's not like there was one overriding powerful reason. It was very idhar udhar ka. What they say, 19-20 in Hindi. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Definitely.
I'm glad you made the decision because the fact that Shayan had picked Pollock, we didn't have room for both, right? We couldn't pick both.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
only one of them could come in.
But we need batting at 7 as well, right? Like I wouldn't say we should go for a specialist at number 7 or like someone who can bat, maybe someone at 6 and then like a keeper at 7. I think it's better if we have 5 bowling options, in my opinion. And
Yeah,
Pollock,
yeah.
he can bat as well at number 7.
So what is our team looking like right now, Saurabh? Because I need
Yeah.
to make
In,
an educated call over here. Donald is out,
so we have-
unfortunately.
We have a full 11. We have Graham Gooch, Saeed Anwar, Brian Lara at 3, Sachin Tendulkar at 4, Steve Waugh at 5, Alex Stewart at 6, Sean Pollock at 7, Wasim Akram at 8, Shane Warne at 9, Curtly Ambrose at 10, Waqar Younis at 11. And you could pick the other keeper and just relegate Stewart to 12th man if you want to.
True. I mean, that is an option, right?
Bro,
Yeah.
what? I would
Border
say
also
you
plays a
should
bit.
pick a spinner though.
I know, but like there are
Spinner.
not many good ones, buddy. That's the problem.
Dude, the thing is, when you play in Asia, you don't want to go in with 4+1. Like, even though they are great bowlers, I just feel like there's that period in Asia, right, where you just want to operate with your spinners, just leave them on.
I mean, this is the
and, like,
90s,
on
Shayan. They're going to
autopilot.
be reverse swinging it in Asia. It's not going
Yeah,
to be.
but I mean,
If you
my
have
point is that
Wasim
it's
and
going to be too
Waqar,
much workload on one. Yeah.
no, but if you have Wasim and Waqar in Asia, do you really need another spinner? I could live with just Shane Warne as the spinner in this team and, Tendulkar doing his all sorts here and there.
I don't
But-
know about that. I mean, it's up to you
The-
guys.
the problem
I
is
would say we
that-
should have a spinner.
Like, my best option is what? Murli's record isn't good in the 90s.
No, it's decent. It's not
It's-
bad.
it's
It's
still-
not
it's-
bad.
it's
decent.
really
It's not
good.
bad.
It's really good for any other cricketer. It's not good for Murli. right? That's
Yeah.
the thing.
But objectively, it's good, right? So I mean, should we be
I mean-
penalizing them like that?
I don't
Both
know,
of them,
man.
That's
Murli
what I was
and
thinking.
Kumble, objectively, they had very, very good records, much above par in the 90s. But like I said,
Kumble actually,
I'm looking for.
Kumble has a brilliant match factor, guys.
I'm looking for a
Very
spinner.
interesting.
If I am to pick a spinner, I'd want someone who can bat a bit because I want to at least kind of shore up that angle.
But why do you need more batting? Where do you need more batting?
True,
we
we
have
don't-
like some of the greatest batters already.
That is
Till
also
6
fair.
we have good batting. Pollock can bat at 7. It's not like we're talking about an all-timer team here. I don't think batting is our concern. But yeah, it's up to you. Whatever
I
role
mean,
you want to pick, you
and
can go for it.
Even Wazim and Wand can bat, right? And you're not dropping them.
Yeah,
if,
they can
if you
also
want
add
to
some value with the bat.
bring in a second spinner, you're dropping either Ambrose or Wakar. Although I genuinely don't think you need to drop either. I'm genuinely saying if you have a bowling attack of Wazim, Wakar, Ambrose, and Wand in the subcontinent also, it would be fine.
Yeah, you know
How
what?
many spinners did Pakistan have in the 90s?
You've
when
got
they were playing at home?
Saklan, you've got Mushi, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think either of them did terribly well in the 90s. No, definitely Mushi.
Yeah.
I doubt. Saklan would have
Mushi
been
was a
better.
great overseas wrist spinner, and
Yeah, his
Saki,
numbers hold up, dude.
But-
Saki
but-
his numbers hold up.
But the whole argument for a spinner is you want in Asia. So if he was a great
Yeah.
overseas
Yeah,
wrist
that is
spinner,
also
then-
true.
No, then I mean Murli is the obvious pick in that regard. But you know what? Screw it, man. I feel like I'm just going to go and pick Andy Flower. I'm sorry. Now we can decide which keeper we want to play. And I was kind of low-key feeling bad earlier, so I need to avenge myself. At this point, it's about me, not about the team. Right? And yeah, very, very selfish. Let me just quickly pull out his record in the 90s. Where are we? There we are. 39 test matches, 2,580 runs, and a batting average of 44.48. It's much less than his overall batting average, which is what dissuaded me in the first place from Andy Flower. And I picked up Alex Stewart because he's averaging 51.54 in 63 test matches overall. But then again, now we can just have our pick. Like, whatever we're feeling on the day, Stewart or Flower, we can play that cricketer. So,
And you can use Stewart as a backup opener as well in that case.
true. Yes, we could absolutely do that. So, yeah, I mean, one frontline spinner and Sachin Tendulkar, I'm fine with that. We'll work with it. And one
I'm
will
not fine
just
with
have
that, but
to-
okay. You guys.
One will have to bowl a lot in Asia, and then Sunny G will lecture us on how Warren is shit in India. There's going to be issues, but still, I feel like this team can easily like defeat some of the best
It's a
teams in the
very
world.
good team, no doubt. I just feel
Yeah.
like if we
Yeah.
got one more spinner instead of like, I don't get the Flower obsession here. If you had to pick him, you could have picked him then.
I
Or
should
Stewart
have
is
picked
also
him
fine.
then, probably. I mean,
Just-
both. Look, I feel like the biggest miss still in this team is Alan Donald because he's just that good in the 90s as well.
Yeah.
But then you've got Pollock.
That is
bit
fine. We have Megra as well, like as an option, if we wanted
Yeah.
that. So
I mean,
he
you
wasn't
could
great in
have-
the 90s compared to his standards,
You could
maybe. But
have given us a lot of meme-worthy content by going for a backup opener in Sanat Jayasuriya, who can also
could have
double up
done
as a spinning option.
Yeah, but
Because
Yeah, man. All-rounder.
Jayasuriya in the 90s is actually pretty decent as an opener.
Really? What's his-
So
what
he,
are
and
his
he's an
numbers?
all-rounder.
he's wait, I'll tell you what his record is in the 90s. It is not bad at all. It is he's played 44 tests. He's averaging 42.3, 2,751 runs. So and most of that is as an opener. So he's pretty decent in the 90s, and it was not as if he was good only in the subcontinent because he has that double century in England also, the Murli 16
Yeah.
wicket test
Oval.
at the Oval, yeah. So
And you couldn't have told me this beforehand? The one time
I
Sanat
thought-
made sense?
I thought you would consider him anyway, but then you didn't. So
Yeah, well, I
Your
didn't.
Sanat fan club, you're not in the Sanat fan club.
I
anymore.
have
Just get
PTSD
out.
from the Sanat Jayasuriya pick, right? Anyway, somehow we've managed to assemble a team. So Saurabh, can you tell
Okay,
us what the
who-
12
who do
looks
we-
like?
who's your vote for keeper between Flower and Stewart?
Does it
Who
matter?
do you pick? No, that's how I'll tell you the 11 and the 12th man, right? So
We can
my vote
start-
is for Flower.
Yeah, we can
He's
start
a
with
left-hander.
Flower.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then
That's what I think.
So then our 12 is Graham Gooch, Saeed Anwar, Brian Lara, Sachin Tendulkar, Steve Waugh, Andy Flower, Sean Pollock, Wasim Akram, Shane Warne, Curtly Ambrose, Waka Yunis, and Alex Stewart is the 12th man. Backup keeper, backup opener. It's a pretty good team, guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got, even though we don't have another spinner, Warney can bowl big workloads. Waz will be potent with both the new ball and the old, so he'll get that ball to reverse, and so will Wakar. And Curtly Ambrose is there for pace, as is Wakar. And Pollock is literally a luxury in this team, right? Absolute luxury. Anyway, what are our picks
So,
individually
guys,
as well?
We have to individual picks, right?
Yes, you have to
Yeah,
let the people know.
Behram went Shane Warne, Saeed Anwar, Alex Stewart, Andy Flower.
I'm losing this.
Saurabh went Sachin Tendulkar, Curtly Ambrose, Steve Waugh, Waqar Yunis. And Shayan went Brian Lara, Wasim Akram, Sean Pollock, Graham Gooch. I think I might win this one.
You
Individual
might
picks.
win this. You've got Sachin.
Because I have all timers, no? I have Tendulkar,
Yeah.
Ambrose, Steve Waugh, Waqar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. I mean, I would vote for you, but I like Shayan's as well. I don't know
like
why I
Shayan's,
got
yeah.
pragmatic. I was also kind of inching towards Wakar when I was confused between the two, but it's fine. It's over. The team is good, and you guys let us
Yeah.
know who you think has won this, and also let us know if you had to assemble a test team of 12 cricketers in the 1990s. What would you have gone with? Let us know in the comments section below. And just a quick reminder, you can go to goodareas.co and bookmark that webpage. That can prove to be your one-stop shop for all the fun work that we do as part of this team, whether it be written content, videos, or podcasts. And, of course, as I mentioned at the start, all of our shows on the Good Areas Network are powered by our supporters on Patreon. And you can become one of them by going to Patreon/Good Areas Podcast. That way you can enjoy ad-free content, you can talk to us exclusively, and also give us Crickpicks recommendations. So we'll see you soon. That's all for today. We'll be back for another Crickpicks next week, a similar one. So wait for that, and have a good one, guys. That's all for today. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.
I once made a pair in a club game, which is almost impossible to do. But I have been obsessed with batting my entire life. And so I put that into my new book, The Art of Batting. Being that I'm not very good at that skill, I decided to talk to other people who were. So I hit up as many contacts as I could just to talk about batting. Rahul Dravid, Brian Lara, AB de Villiers, Kumar Sangakkara, Ross Taylor, Susie Bates, Nasser Hussain, Ian Chappell, and so many, many, many more. I wanted batters to talk about how they and their friends made runs, because that is the art of batting.